And we convince ourselves that everyone else seems to have figured out life and we're just left behind. But that's not the case. We know that everyone has their own challenges, everyone's going through their own challenging situations at times. This is Lead with Culture. I'm Kate Volman, and this is an episode that is for you to inspire you to be bold and be courageous, to do the work that you know that you need to do as you're growing your business, your team, and yourself. And so I hope that you find this episode helpful. Do you ever feel behind in life? Maybe your career or business isn't as successful as you'd like it to be. Maybe you thought you'd be in a loving, committed relationship and it just hasn't happened yet. Today, I'm sharing 5 simple action steps you can take to shift your mindset so you can appreciate where you are today while getting back to building a life you love. I had a conversation with 2 of my friends this week. Both are very successful. If somebody were looking on the outside in, they would say, yeah, they've achieved a lot. They're both very successful entrepreneurs. They have a great family life. Everything seems really good. And yet they shared with me they're not where they want to be in life. And I wasn't very surprised actually, because I find that even some of the most successful people that I've met throughout my career, they all tell me that at some point they've had this feeling like I'm behind in life. I haven't achieved as much as I want to achieve. And when it comes to type A, very driven individuals, I feel like we can all relate because we're always striving for more and better. And we have this idea of like, we have this goal that we want to achieve. Once we achieve it, then we're already trying to get after that next finish line. And we don't even celebrate the wins or successes. It's so easy for us to fall into this trap of feeling like we're behind in life, especially because on social media, what are we seeing? We're seeing everyone's highlight reels. We're seeing how everyone has achieved all these incredible things. They're so successful and they're always happy. And we convince ourselves that everyone else seems to have figured out life and we're just left behind. But that's not the case. We know that everyone has their own challenges. Everyone's going through their own challenging situations at times. And I bet someone's looking at you and thinking, wow, they've made it. They have life all figured out. So if you're feeling a little behind in life, I want to share 5 simple steps to help you start feeling good about where you are today while you get excited about building your future. Number 1 is to create your victory vault. Your victory vault is essentially a place where you get to put all of your accomplishments, all those things in your life that you're so proud of, that you're so grateful that you were able to achieve. These go in the vault. Now, this could be in a journal or a notebook. It could also be in a shoebox or maybe a glass jar. You can write them down on a sticky note and put that into the jar, or it can just be a folder on your computer. Whatever it is, it's your collection of accomplishments. It's all the things that you're most proud of. If you landed a big client or you got a promotion or you had some health and fitness goals and you've been able to feel more energized or lose some weight that you've been wanting to lose, whatever it is, all of those small victories that we sometimes brush off that we feel like are no big deal, we get to make a big deal by adding those to your victory vault. And what happens when we start to collect these accomplishments and put them in our victory vault, not only A, do we get this boost of confidence because you'll probably recognize I'm proud of myself for a lot of things, but this is also a great place for you to go when you are feeling like maybe you're behind in life or maybe you're feeling a little bit down. You can go to your victory vault, open it up and see all of the things that you've done. It's a reminder because when we're feeling left behind, we're focused so much on all the things we haven't accomplished or haven't done. We're forgetting about all the incredible things that we have done. You've done a lot of really amazing things, but we've got to remind ourselves of that. All those things are just confidence boosters because they're evidence that it is possible for you to achieve great things. Number 2, write down what your life looks like today. So what time are you waking up? Who are you spending time with? What work are you doing? How does your business look? What are your relationships like? And how do you feel every day? In the work I get to do at Floyd Coaching with our Dream Manager clients, we open our coaching sessions by asking them to assess where they are that month on 4 different areas of life: physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. And they have to give a rating: red, yellow, green. Now, green is I'm on track, everything's good, let's go. Yellow is things are not great. there definitely could be improvement. And red is things are not so good. And so rate your life where it is today, red, yellow, green, in all of those areas of life: physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. We need to see exactly where we are today. That's the first step. Number 3, create your dream life. Write down your dream life. What does it look like? So again, you're going back to what time are you waking up? Who are you spending time with? How are your relationships? What does your business look like? What does your career look like? And how do you feel? Obviously, in that rating, that score, you're going to want to be a green in all those different areas of life. That's where we strive to be. We want to be green. We always want to be moving in a good direction and feeling good in physical, emotional, intellectual, and spiritual. So write down your dream life. Make it as rich as possible so you really get that feeling of what that dream life looks and feels like. Okay, now that you've written both those things out, you get to look at them side by side. And number 4 is identify the gaps from your life as it is today and your dream life. What's missing? Only by looking at both those lists can we figure out what we need to focus on in order to obtain that dream life. Now, what's really cool about this exercise is you might actually notice that you're a lot closer to your dream life than you thought. And that's a beautiful thing. This is why it's so important for us to write it down. We have to actually see. We don't give ourselves credit for the lives that we've been able to build. And that's so exciting. This is why it's so important to write it down. We have to actually visually see, what are you really striving for? And then those gaps, those pieces that you may not have today that you really want to be achieving for tomorrow, you get to decide, okay, what is that going to look like? And now you have to create the habits in order to obtain that dream life. So, for example, we work with a lot of people, they want to get healthy and fit. Great. In your dream life, you feel energized and you're working out on a regular basis. Well, now you get to add those pieces into your calendar. So, when are you going to work out? When are you going to take a look at your diet and see where you can make some tweaks and changes? Oftentimes, we know what needs to be done in order to create our dream life. We just haven't taken the time to write it down. We haven't taken the time to really be committed to achieving those things. So look at that dream life and look at the life you have now. And when we identify the gaps, what are the habits that you need to put in place? I worked with a client a couple years ago who had a dream. In his dream life, he was an author and a speaker, and he had been talking about doing this for 5 years, but he wasn't doing anything about it. And so finally, when we got to work together, he was committed to building that dream life. And he knew that meant that he had to get really serious. And so he started writing every day. And within a year, he had written his book because he made the commitment. He wrote out his dream life that included being an author and then writing. And then he started to actually do those daily action steps that he needed. And so what does that look like for you? What are some of the things that you're procrastinating on or that you're not taking action on because of whatever the reason? Fear, doubt, overthink. We got to get rid of those feelings and then go get into action. And when we look at that dream life that we have designed for ourselves, it pushes us because we've created that image in our mind of, yes, that is what I want. And you know it's possible to achieve those things. So identify the gaps, and then what are the habits that you need to start implementing into your life to start making progress? We just want to feel like we're making steps towards that dream life that we've created. In fact, we underestimate the power of progress because we can be so fixated on the end result and the achievement that we forget how important progress is. As human beings, we want to know that we're making progress, that we're getting better, that our life today is better than it was 6 months ago or a year ago when we feel like we're making progress. That's what's so exciting. We get to get better every day because it's never going to look perfect. Because every time you get better and grow, that dream life of yours is going to be even bigger because you've accumulated skills and new habits and more confidence and all the things that you want to see out of your life. And so we get to be proud of progress while we're building our dream life. And number 5, this is an important piece: hold yourself accountable. This is what it takes, right? We've got to hold ourselves accountable. Now, this is why so many people hire coaches, because it's so easy to not hold ourselves accountable to the dreams that we have in our lives. And so by having a coach, you're saying, okay, this person is going to ask me every month, did you do the thing you said you were going to do? And we don't want to come to that meeting and say we didn't. That's why people invest in a coach. If you don't invest in a coach, then Can you have an accountability partner? Whatever you need. If you know that you're not great at holding yourself accountable, what are some things that you can do to make sure that you hold yourself accountable? So, a coach and accountability partner are the two easiest ways to make that happen. But that's the important piece. You've built that dream life. You're so excited to go after it. And now you need to actually hold yourself accountable to those habits that you know you need to do in order to achieve that dream life. If you are feeling behind in life, I hope these action steps help you get back on track to start feeling good about where you are. Focus on progress. Focus on getting better every day. We can't look at the past and think about all the things we could have or should have done. We can only look towards the future to build that dream life. And once you have that dream life, that idea of what that is, you have what it takes to get there. You have everything that you need to create that dream life. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please like it and also send it to someone in your life who needs some encouragement. I also invite you to subscribe to my channel for more content to help you create a career and life you love.